Hello and very warm welcome, dear students. Today I am discussing this chapter 14, and this has been taken from part 3, The Lighthouse of Virginia Woolf's novel, To the Lighthouse. Chapter 14 is the conclusion chapter, so it should have something like resolutions. The issues which were raised in the beginning of the novel and throughout the novel, these issues continued. Now we have these discussed here. So, first of all, it is Lily Briscoe's issue that she, after the death of Mrs. Ramsay, was feeling attracted. Her motherly feelings were compelling her to give satisfaction or to give company or to feel the sad loss of Mr. Ramsay. But she was wavering in part two. Again and again, she was trying but failing. Ultimately, at the end of the novel, this issue is resolved because when she says and thinks about Mr. Ramsay and his family, going towards the lighthouse at that time, she thinks about the lighthouse also, and then she thinks about Mr. Ramsay reaching there, and she continuously watches with her attention, but ultimately she gets tired. The last line of the first paragraph, as it is here, the last line, it says that, but she was relieved, whatever she had wanted to give him when he left her that morning, she had given him at last. So that is the acceptance on the part of Lady Briscoe that she has ultimately accepted Mr. Ramsay and given her attention to him. So that is the very first issue which is resolved in this chapter. If we read the second paragraph, we have the similar type of situation here also. For example, he has landed, she said aloud, it is finished, then surging up. Puffing slightly, old Mr. Carmichael stood beside her, looking like an old pagan god, shaggy, with weeds in his hair, and the trident, it was only a French novel, in his hand. He stood by her on the edge of the lawn, swaying a little in his bulk, and said, shading his eyes with his hand, they will have landed, and she felt that she had been right. They had not needed to speak. They had been thinking the same things, and he had answered her without her asking him anything. He stood there as if he were spreading his hands over all the weakness and suffering of mankind. She thought he was surveying tolerantly and compassionately their final destiny. Now he has crowned the occasion. She thought when his hand slowly fell, as if she had seen him let fall from his great height a wreath of violets and asphodels, which fluttering slowly lay at length upon the earth. So this paragraph is about Mr. Carmichael, who is standing by close to Lily Briscoe and is looking like a god, and who has the flowers in his hair, and who is thinking about the whole humanity, and ultimately turning close to her, and she too thinks that their thinking is same, their style is same, and they are having the similar type of suffering. They have similar type of targets to be achieved. So that is why one thing is the status that Carmichael achieves, other thing is the company of Lily Briscoe and the similarity of thinking and views regarding Mr. Ramsay and the lighthouse. Both of these things bring them together. And then comes the next paragraph. It says, quickly, as if she were recalled by something over there, she turned to her canvas. There was her picture. Yes, with all its greens and blues, its lines running up and across, its attempt at something. It would be hung in the attics. She thought it would be destroyed, but what did that matter? She asked herself, taking up her brush again. She looked at the steps, they were empty. She looked at her canvas, it was blurred. With a sudden intensity, as if she saw it clear for a second, she drew a line, and the center, it was done, it was finished. Yes, she thought, laying down her brush in extreme fatigue, I have had my vision. So the second issue in the novel was that Lily Briscoe was trying to make her picture or painting, but most of the time she couldn't complete it because she needed a vision, and that vision never came to her. So it remained incomplete. But at the close of the novel, in this chapter, we see that she all of a sudden gets all her vision, and she draws a line with her brush in the painting, and as a result, she thinks that it's complete. So the second issue is also resolved, that she wanted to paint a picture but could not. And in this end, we find the last paragraph. Here we have the last lines. It says, yes, she thought, laying down her brush in extreme fatigue, I have had my vision. So because of her vision, she is able to complete her painting also. And then we should also see another issue that is the most important issue regarding the title of the novel, that everybody wanted to go to the lighthouse, but most of the time it was stopped because of certain reasons. Sometimes weather, sometimes Mr. Ramsay, sometimes Carmichael. But ultimately, as the first paragraph repeats again and again in the tongue of Lily Briscoe and in the tongue of Mr. Carmichael, that both of them have reached, possibly they have reached, they agree upon this point that possibly Mr. Ramsay with Mr. James and other people have reached the lighthouse, but none of them is sure because it is in haze, the lighthouse in haze and fog, and from a distance they cannot see it so clearly, but ultimately they just decided. And perhaps this is the indication that they might have reached. So, therefore, the third issue, that of the reaching and visiting of this area, which is called the lighthouse, has also been done. So, three issues are solved: Lily Briscoe's issue for Mr. Ramsay, and Lily Briscoe's painting, and reaching of Mr. James to the lighthouse in company of his father. So, with this conclusion, the chapter ends. But what happens later on? And we are not given a sure detail whether they have reached really, because no witness is there. It means the writer has left the thing open as well, that we can make conjectures, we can think about whether these people reached, or they were still on the way, or they were unable to reach, or what happened there. Only have the tiding and information from the part of Carmichael and Lily Briscoe. Lily Briscoe shows her opinion, and that opinion is strengthened by Carmichael, that the possibility might have reached. So here the novel ends. Thank you for watching this video. There are many other videos available on this novel on my YouTube channel. So if you like, you can visit them and watch them. And here, if you like this video, do not fail to hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in some next video.